Breaking news coming in the last couple of minutes as Scott D'Amore has been fired and replaced as the president of TNA Wrestling. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and a major shakeup when it comes to TNA Wrestling just days after one of their most successful weekends in years. Now, just weeks after the company held its most successful weekend in years, Hard to Kill, in Las Vegas, Scott D'Amore is out as the TNA president. PW Insider can confirm. They were first to report this. TNA has since released a statement, which we'll get to shortly. D'Amore has been terminated by TNA parent company Anthem Sports and Entertainment. Now, the belief among those that PW Insider has spoken with is the decision came directly from Anthem owner Len Asper. Now, TNA parent company Anthem Sports and Entertainment will be stepping in and taking a much larger role in the day-to-day management and strategies of the promotion. TNA will be folded into Anthem's entertainment arm going forward, as opposed to existing in its own corner of the company. The idea is that this will allow TNA to become more embraced, more by Anthem, and have a stronger synergy in order to maximize what each side has to offer to the other. As part of that integration, D'Amore has been removed from power and is gone, effective immediately. Now, TNA staff and wrestlers will be addressed today regarding D'Amore's firing, according to PW Insider. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful is confirming in the last couple of minutes at the time of recording this video that an ongoing staff call and talent call is ongoing to explain the decision to terminate Scott D'Amore from his position as TNA president. Now, PW Insider said they had been chasing this story over the last week, and after multiple requests for comment, received the following statement mere minutes ago, confirming today that Anthony Cicione, Anthem's president of entertainment, has been named the new president of TNA Wrestling and will run the day-to-day of the promotion. This is what the statement from TNA Wrestling has said. Quote, Anthony Cicione named president of TNA Wrestling. Anthem Sports and Entertainment Inc., a global multi-platform media company, announced today the appointment of Anthony Cicione as the president of TNA Wrestling. The move aims to further integrate TNA Wrestling into Anthem's entertainment group, of which Cicione is the president, leveraging the entire company's resources to add more value in areas including promotion, distribution, marketing, viewership, customer acquisition, digital revenue streams, ad sales and sponsorships, digital tech operations, and more. Cicione replaces Scott D'Amore, whose contract with Anthem has been terminated. D'Amore had been a part of TNA since 2003. He held many key leadership positions and played a vital role in the growth of the company, leading to its strong industry reputation today, including the successful return of the TNA Wrestling brand in 2024. Anthem thanks him for the commitment he brought to the business, the talent, and the people who work outside the ring. In addition to these duties as president of entertainment, Cicione will now manage the day-to-day business operations for TNA Wrestling. He brings more than 30 years of executive-level management experience to the organization. Cicione has been with Anthem for the last 16 years, managing technical operations and multiple cable and digital channels. Prior to his time with Anthem, Cicione was a producer of sports content, including catapulting the Score to success by bringing WWE to the channel. Now, according to PW Insider, there had been some quiet rumblings for several weeks that change could be happening among some in the company after several Anthem executives, including Cicione and Ariel Sheena, Vice President of Business Development, had been reaching out to both TNA staff and roster members to get a better understanding of how the actual promotion operated while getting feedback on the company. The fact that Anthem executives had reached out to talent raised talk among some, given how out of character it was, but it appears Anthem was preparing for life without D'Amore and getting the lay of the land as they shift TNA's positioning internally in their company. Well, obviously, there could be additional changes over time. Currently, D'Amore is the only executive who has departed the company, but once again, this is a developing and breaking story, so certainly anything can and will change. It's professional wrestling after all. On the surface, his termination has to be seen as shocking, as he led the company over time from what many consider to have been its lowest ever point back in 2017. The promotion was all but dead in the water, limping financially from taping to taping. Finally, Anthem called in its debt maker to switch ownership positions with Dixie Carter, acquiring the brand outright. That acquisition saw the company name change from TNA to Global Force Wrestling to Impact Wrestling, and then at the onset of 2024 revert back to its original name in what can only be described as a celebratory moment for the company and its fans. Now, D'Amore originally joined TNA in 2003 as a manager on screen and an agent behind the scenes. In 2005, he was promoted to the head of creative for the company and held that post through 2008, helping establish the Knockouts division. That's still one of the true hallmarks of the promotion. He exited only to return in 2009 as an agent. He left again in 2010. In 2014, D'Amore began working for Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling after Jarrett and Toby Keith failed to purchase TNA when Keith refused to accept some of the terms involved, including retaining Dixie Carter. As it turned out, D'Amore at the time was also trying to acquire the company, which led to Jarrett and D'Amore speaking, and out of that they aligned to launch GFW, which led them back to TNA after a round of tapings in Las Vegas and some smaller scale live events. In 2017, after the TNA acquisition, Anthem brought Jarrett in with D'Amore as part of Jarrett's team. When Jarrett was later let go, D'Amore remained and was back as head of creative. He was named Executive Vice President in 2018, before finally being named President of the company. Over D'Amore's tenure from 2017 on, TNA went through a very slow process of finding itself again and rebuilding faith with its audience slowly over time. From a promotion at its level, TNA had been consistently well produced and in its best moments presented entertaining television and matches over the last several years. Had it been broadcast on a larger scale cable network, it certainly would have built a larger following much faster. Part of the strategy in going back to the TNA letters, which was planned for a long time, was to bring back some familiarity to the brand, as the idea was that fans knew what TNA was but not Impact Wrestling. There, of course, is great irony in the fact that D'Amore is gone from the same company that brought him to tears during an in-ring promo just a few weeks ago. The timing, by some, according to PW Insider, is seen as very strange. A sad twist of fate, given TNA had just invested a lot of money in upgrading the Nashville production facilities at Skyway Studios and had most of their successful weekend in forever, and now everything behind the scenes is back to being reshuffled. Now, Mike Johnston says, to answer the question I'm sure everyone will be writing me, was there some specific cause that led to D'Amore's termination? And he says the honest answer he's been given is that he's been able to not only ascertain that answer, but no one he has spoken to has given him any clarity on that question either, essentially saying he's not been able to get an answer if there was any other cause, and nobody's been able to give him any clarity either as well. Now, he says he doesn't know whether this was something brought on by a behind-the-scenes issue or unhappiness with TNA's financial state or a pending something happening when it comes to TNA wrestling. No one seems to know any specific answer, at least to the point where they're privately voicing it. This literally could be exactly what was stated, that it was just corporate reshuffling and restructuring that left D'Amore out to sea in the corporate game of musical chairs. Now, the belief at this moment, but it's not 100% locked in stone, as there is still a lot of flux in everything that's going on right now, is that the remaining members of the TNA creative team are still in place and will work as the liaisons between Anthem management and the TNA product, following the lead of what Anthem executives want going forward. Now, exactly who would be the person at the top of the chain directing the creative remains to be confirmed right now, but the buck for the overall production will now stop with Cicione, who does have some connection to pro wrestling on an executive level, as he brought WWE to the score in Canada many years ago. Cicione oversees Access TV, HDNet Movies, Game Plus, the Fight Network, and other broadcast outlets for Anthem, and spent a decade overseeing the score. Before that, he was a sports producer for the Global Television Network, so he does have a strong TV background, maybe not so much a strong wrestling background. Now, it is expected that most of the behind-the-scenes logistical and production staff, if not all, will be remaining as well. PW Insider say they have heard nothing about talent wanting out because D'Amore is out, but certainly whenever there is change like this, there are bound to be changes to the roster too. One would think anyone signed to a deal would be remaining. As of this recording, Anthem has yet to address the talents, so we'll have to see how that plays out. As I mentioned, the expectation is that they're going to be holding a call with the talent later on today. Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed that that's actually ongoing right now at the time of recording this video. Now, it could be that everything is being done to help benefit Anthem overall by integrating TNA into Anthem, similar to WWE and the UFC, each being streamlined to work better with each other under the TKO Group Holdings banner. That certainly is what is being said by Anthem, that this is all to make TNA stronger by enhancing it through Anthem's entertainment wing. Could this be a situation similar to Sinclair Broadcast Group cutting back on, and in their case eventually selling Ring of Honor, in part due to a financial squeeze brought on by outside factors? If it is, nobody is stating that. For Sinclair, the pandemic and other financial concerns, such as Diamond RSNs putting a major financial beating on the company, Anthem has made some acquisitions in recent years, including Access TV, the Invicta MMA promotion, and independent film distribution company Gravitas Ventures, but nothing that would immediately stand out as the type of issues that put hurting on Sinclair. There has been some talk over the last week, according to PW Insider, that the company could be cutting back on touring in the spring. Others have directly and specifically denied that will be the case, though, to PW Insider. The promotion has television tapings and pay-per-views currently set for New Orleans, Windsor, Ontario, which of course is Scott D'Amour's hometown, which won't be awkward at all, and Philadelphia through March, with nothing officially announced as of this recording, but they could obviously announce new tapings any time. PW Insider also has been told there were a lot of meetings over the last week or so to work out future strategies and how the shift into Anthem's entertainment wing would actually work. One of the plans for TNA in 2024 was to do a big tentpole pay-per-view event in major markets like New York City, Toronto, and Las Vegas. There had also been loose talk of doing live weekly television on a Thursday. Whether those plans remain to live on or anything like that after this management reshuffle remains to be seen. Another question that's yet to be answered throughout all of this is, what does this mean for the fledgling relationship between TNA Wrestling and WWE that began with Jordynne Grace appearing in the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble? The belief is that Scott D'Amore was heavily involved with the building of the potential relationship between the two sides. If and how it continues to develop remains to be seen, but TNA will have to tap someone else to continue to build that rapport with Paul Levesque and the rest of WWE. Obviously, the entire fabric of TNA itself will change without Scott D'Amore there, but a changing of the guard for the company's central figure has become as much of a TNA tradition as anything else related to the company, from Jerry Jarrett to AJ Styles to Jeff Jarrett to Dixie Carter to Hulk Hogan and beyond. Focal personalities in front and behind the scenes have changed over the years, and somehow TNA has always managed to survive and weather the storm. How the promotion fares this time will play out in real time in the days and weeks ahead, starting with the New Orleans events at the end of the month. It seems, though, a new chapter has launched for TNA, and it certainly felt like a new one had launched with Hard to Kill, but that chapter very quickly has ended. There will obviously be creative changes, because how could there not be? Of course, the president of the company has been replaced. Every booker or producer or writer has their own sensibilities, and everyone books what they like and believes who will work best for the audience. What those changes mean and how they will inform what the TNA product is going forward will start to be answered when TNA tapes in New Orleans at the end of the month. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the reality is that the company had a great camaraderie as a locker room, and as a product, everyone has pretty much been in sync. Now, there's chaos today, and how everyone will feel, not just today, but going forward, remains to be seen. There's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done to keep everyone marching forward, to keep the product strong, and to keep the fans, especially online, from reverting to the LOL TNA reactions from back in the day. The firing also obviously means a new chapter for Scott D'Amore, and it will be a very abrupt change, given TNA was very much D'Amore's life 24/7, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. All signs are that this was likely a turn of events he couldn't have really seen coming. There was upward mobility for the promotion, certainly creatively, and no true sign of burnout from the outside. All signs are the live gates and the pay-per-view revenue and streaming service numbers were doing well for a promotion of TNA size, so the last thing anyone likely figured to be the next step was D'Amore's firing as the president. If and when he's free and clear to continue on in a professional wrestling capacity is unknown. Even if he's interested in doing so, one has to think there will be at least feelers put out by AEW, WWE, and or New Japan Pro Wrestling to see whether D'Amore could bring something to their respective companies. There were rumblings, according to PW Insider yesterday, that he's going to be represented by Barry Bloom going forward, which means at some point he's going to be ready to field offers. Now, PW Insider state that efforts to reach D'Amore for a comment on the record were unsuccessful as of this recording, but certainly that could change certainly in the future. But as I mentioned, it is a developing and breaking news story when it comes to all of this. Now, according to Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful has confirmed that talent and staff were informed of the move today, with some finding out this morning. Currently, staff and talent are on a Zoom call to discuss the move. One talent said they believed Anthem wanted the brand to be more closely associated with them as opposed to D'Amore. And when Fightful asked another about that, they said, quote, "I can see that, but he saved TNA." So as I mentioned, this is a developing and breaking news story. If we get any more details on this moving forward, we'll let you know. But what are your thoughts? If you're a fan of TNA wrestling, are you shocked? Are you stunned? Are you surprised? Or are you not surprised to see Scott D'Amore fired and replaced as the president of TNA wrestling? What do you think it means for TNA wrestling moving forward? What do you think it means for talent that's just signed with a company like Nick Nemeth and possibly others? Do you think it makes them less attractive, more attractive to acquire talent moving forward? Let me know your thoughts and reactions as always in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.